What's going on, everyone? This is Samaj Richardson, and what I want to do is ask you all some questions. Have you ever been inspired by a man or a woman or even a group of people and asked yourself or thought to yourself, those people have really inspired me, that person has really inspired me. I would like to let them know how much they have inspired me, how helpful what they're doing has been, or how helpful it is, and how much I admire this person's hard work. Or have you ever thought to yourself that you need to surround yourself with more people that are doing the types of things that you want to do? More people that are out there living the types of lives that you want to live, having the type of career that you want to have, or the type of business that you want to have. And the reason why I ask these questions is because I have just started a new series, which you are actually right now at this very moment watching the very first episode of, in which I will be reaching out to people who have inspired me, and who serve as a role model in some sort of fashion, and I will be documenting it step by step, letting you know how I'm doing it, and then showing you how you can apply it to your own life as well. And I will be doing this weekly. So, how this works is I pick a person, I introduce that person to you, and then I show you how I go about trying to establish a connection with that person, whether I can establish a connection with them or not, and if so, if I can, what I do next is then show you how I follow up from that connection, and then lastly, I will show you I'll show you lessons learned and takeaways. So, the first person who will be highlighted in this video, in this episode, is the guy who actually inspired this series. The reason why this series even exists in the first place. Davis Nguyen. Davis Nguyen is he's a senior actually. At this current point in time, he's a senior at Yale University. And he has a blog that he started called Click with Anyone. It is an excellent blog. I really like it a lot. And what you can do right now, you should right now, go to www.clickwithanyone.com, and you will find on there is that he has started a challenge back in September 2014 where for 52 weeks, one person a week, he's reaching out to a role model that he's never met before, and he's trying to connect with them. And what he's doing, he's documenting the entire process. He's showing you his successes, he's showing you his failures, he's showing you everything. He's pulling out all stops to show you how you can go about reaching out to people that you find as role models. And so what I'm doing, the first thing I did was, in order to connect with him, was, well, one, I subscribed to his email list because his content was actually really good. Like, his content is really good. I really enjoy it. And when I did that, I was sent an autoresponder email. And in that autoresponder email, by the way, before I even go into that, what I want to say is I will be showing a series of screenshots of different email conversations. And you can follow along. You can look at the screenshots in this video. But if you want to look at them longer, if you want to archive, whatever other reason that you might want it for, I have written an article to accompany this video, and you can check out the description below. You'll see that link. So, I'm looking at the article right now on my computer at this very moment because it is going to help me. It's going to serve as a reference as I go through this video. So, in this screenshot that I'm showing to you at this very moment in time, you can see that he asked me two questions. One is about my current goals, and the other one is about how he can help me. And then he also mentions that these emails, that my response will go to his personal email, and that he responds back. So I figured I'll write him. When I did that, you can see in this other screenshot that I'm showing you that before I even got into the questions, the first thing I did was I started to develop a little bit of rapport. And the reason why I did that is because first I wanted to let them know how I found out about them. Because if you're running a website, it is very important. You really want to know where your traffic is coming from. And then also, I wanted to let him know that the article that he wrote, I could really relate to it. So that was just another rapport building thing that I did. And from there, now you can see that he did respond, and this is his message that he wrote back to me. And from there, we went on to exchange a number of emails back and forth. And what this did was it further enforced to me that Davis was truly trying to help out. And it also helped me to enjoy the content on his blog more. And not only to enjoy it more, but to take more action on it, because here's one thing I learned about myself. And really, I think this applies to people in general. What it is that we are much more likely to take part in something that is recommended to us when we feel like the person is genuinely looking out for our best interests. So, it's one thing to reach out to someone and say, hey, here I am. But then it's another thing to actually start developing a relationship with that person. Because let's face it, here's the thing. I'm not interested in talking about how many people I have talked to, how many people I have reached out to. What I want to do with this, my purpose behind this, is to start developing relationships with people. So, how do you go about doing that? Well, anybody that knows me really well knows that I'm an avid reader. And I have a large library of books, and it's still increasing, always reading, trying to get more books. And one thing that I learned from Davis, and from a really good book called Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi, is that when you're starting to develop a relationship with someone, you want to lead with generosity. And basically that just means that you want to find a way to be of service to that person. And that can take on multiple forms. It could be giving advice, it could be helping them with a task that they struggle with, or even a task they just don't like doing. It could be giving that person business, sending them business. It could be anything as long as it's of value to that person. So what did I do? I realized that in reading the Click with Anyone blog, reading different articles in the blog, that there weren't a lot of comments on a lot of the articles. So that led me to believe that there is not a lot of traffic coming in, or at least not consistent traffic coming in. So I figured I could help generate more traffic for a blog to get more of the word out. And I thought to myself, YouTube videos. YouTube generates so many views. I myself am responsible for about 30% of the minutes of YouTube videos watched. Okay, it might not be that true, but I do watch a lot of videos, a lot of YouTube videos, and a lot of other people watch a lot of other YouTube videos as well. So I know that this is something that could help. So here's my plan. And I'll show you the screenshot of the email that I wrote to him as I explain it. So basically what I want to do is tell him that I want to help him increase the readership of his blog by taking a similar challenge myself and documenting it through videos, which is exactly what you're watching right now. By the way, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. And so, here's my thing. If we attach my my way of thinking about this is, if we attack the same mission, both of us are going after the same mission from different angles, we increase the likelihood that it's going to get more exposure. So as you can see, I broke this down in 3 sections, what I wrote, and I explained why I did it. And in the first section, I begin by letting him know how much I believe in what he's doing. And I do this for 2 reasons. First one is just transparency, because I really do truly believe in what he's doing. I think it's great. Secondly, I do it for encouragement, because I want to encourage him to continue to do it. Now, the next thing is, and this is still part of the first section, I set up my proposal by letting him know how I tell my friends about it, and then other people that I meet out about it, but I don't think it's getting word out fast enough. Now, moving on to the second paragraph section, what have you, I let him know that not only have I been reading his blog, but I have been applying what he's actually teaching by using the principles that he teaches on him. So this just shows that I'm doing some of my homework. And then I present my proposal, which is what I'm doing now, which is this documenting of my reaching out, connecting with people process. And then I let him know how I plan to help him. Now, notice, I'm not asking him to help me. I'm just giving. I'm just offering my help. Now, this is moving on to the third section. We have that this is where I start letting him know what I'll be doing is how it's not exactly the same. And I do this just because I want him to have expectation, have something to expect, know what he's expecting. And then lastly, the thing that I wanted to do was to tell him that I'll be implementing it as soon as possible. This was just a way of showing him that, hey, this is not going to require any extra work on your part. This is something that I'm taking on by myself in order to help you out further. And then above, you can see what he wrote me, and he even mentions that we get on the phone and talk together, which will further establish and deepen the relationship. Now, lessons learned / takeaways. I have 2. There's 2. And the first thing is, people really appreciate when other people go the extra mile. And I also notice on the contrasting end, why a lot of people don't go the extra mile is because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's going to take a lot more research. It's going to take a lot more time. But just like anything, when you first start out, it's pretty difficult, but it gets easier as you get more accustomed to it. And that's the same thing with going the extra mile. Number 2, I learned that taking an active role in your learning process you learn so much more than if you just passively do it. When you take an active role, here's an example. When I was first reading the Click With Anyone blog, I just thought to myself, wow, this guy's dedication it's pretty sick. Like he's working hard. I can tell that this guy is going to be very successful. But when I started reading and taking action on it, then I saw that, hey, this is something that I can actually do as well. And now when I learn something, when I read something, it makes more sense. It resonates with me more because it's much more grounded in real life experiences. Because now I can say, oh yeah, I actually did that, and now this person is talking about that, and now it makes a lot more sense to me. So that's what I have for you today. Those are my lessons and my takeaways from this very first episode of this relationship building series. So what I want you to do now is to take the time to comment on this video, because I really do want to get you guys' feedback on this. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And that's pretty much it. Until next time.